Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to my review of tonight's edition of Smackdown. And I thought tonight's Smackdown, thought it was a decent show. I'd say it was better than Raw last night in my opinion, but I still enjoyed Raw last night. It was a solid show, but SmackDown was a decent show for this week. And the show opened up tonight with Shane McMahon coming out saying how SmackDown was so close to, to come to victory at Survivor Series this past Sunday. And he goes on to say that SmackDown proved at Survivor Series that even in defeat, they are, the show in WWE. And he goes on to say that he's proud of the whole SmackDown roster at Survivor Series and how they put, their bodies on the line. And he ends up calling out Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They both come out. Owens says to Shane that, he made a fatal mistake not putting him and Sami in anything at Survivor Series. And, they said that, he said that they could have beat The Shield or Braun Strowman or even Triple H. And Owens wants Shane to man up and say, and apologize to Owens and Sami. And Shane says that both of them have no respect for anyone in WWE, and they have no respect for, him and, for anybody in the crowd tonight. And Owens and Sami say, they are the top two superstars in WWE. Shane goes on to say that the SmackDown locker room has no respect for, both Owens and Sami. And, he's about to fire both of them. And Daniel Bryan ends up coming out and says, he had to send Randy Orton home because of, because of what they did, what Owens and Sami did, on Sunday during the Men's Survivor Series match. And they say that, you want to say on that New Day is furious about, Owens and Sami also. And so Daniel then makes a match saying that both Owens and Sami will face New Day tonight. And the whole SmackDown locker room will be surrounding the ring. And so basically it's a, from what, I'm saying, it is a Lumberjack match. That's going to happen with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the New Day tonight. So, but overall, it was a pretty good opening segment. Pretty good opening to SmackDown. And then we had the first match of the night: Shelton Benjamin versus Jey Uso. This was a decent match. Really enjoyed the flow of the match. You had Benjamin and Jey Uso, doing back and forth. It was back and forth between them. Benjamin got the win with the pay dirt on Jey Uso to score the win. So, but it was a decent match. Really enjoyed it. Then we had Owens and Sami backstage. They were with Baron Corbin. Owens and Sami were trying to, get one of the superstars on this, in the SmackDown locker room to, to save them. Saying, oh, we'll make, you a big thing with us, And Corbin says that, he can't stand the both of them. They approach Bobby Roode, saying that they can make him better. And Bobby says to both of them that they are crazy and that they messed up, the Survivor Series match with him on Sunday. They messed up the Men's Survivor Series match. So it was a little backstage segment with them. And then when SmackDown came back from commercial, We saw Naomi, getting her makeup done. Uh, she said that, she was disappointed how, SmackDown, didn't win at Survivor Series. And, she says that, it's good that, Charlotte beat Alexa and that, she's happy to see her, take on Natalya tonight. And surprise, lo and behold, we get more NXT women call-ups. And, you know, Ruby Riot approaches Naomi. And then we had Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan, which Sarah Logan, didn't really do that much when she was down in NXT. So all three of them approached Naomi and they start beating the hell out of her, all three of them. And then we see Becky Lynch come. She ends up trying to. Sorry about that, but we had Becky Lynch coming in. She was trying to take out Liv and Ruby and Sarah, but they ended up just, attacking her. They attacked Becky really bad. Kind of, even after the, before they went to commercial, you kind of feel bad for Becky because they beat the hell out of her really bad. But so yeah, it was a surprise to see Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, and Sarah Logan, be brought up to the main roster from NXT. It was kind of like, this was kind of like, a copy of what we saw last night on Raw with Paige and Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. But yeah, so it was basically like a copy of that. But I have to say it was done better. With Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, and Sarah Logan tonight. I thought it was done better than, what we saw on Raw last night with Paige, Sonya Deville, and Mandy Rose. So, but all in all, it was unexpected. It was a surprise. Probably gonna need these women because I heard, that they're gonna be doing a women's Royal Rumble at a Royal Rumble in January. So, but when I think about it, I'm like, they bring up these three from NXT, but not Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. The iconic duo. They get brought up, and Peyton Royce and Billie Kay are still down in NXT. I like them. I like them both. I like Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. I'm a huge fan of theirs. I think they're talented, but I like Ruby Riott. I think she's talented also. Watching her matches in NXT. Liv Morgan is pretty entertaining whenever she had a match in NXT. They didn't use her like quite so much though, but it was just very rarely. And Sarah Logan was, like Liv Morgan. They only used her like if they felt like it. So, but yeah, it was a shock to see, like I said, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, and Sarah Logan come up from NXT. And then after that, we saw Shane McMahon backstage with Daniel Bryan. He was talking to him about, that he had a great idea that he had for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And he's talking about how, he's going to expect, Daniel Bryan is going to fire them after they get beat up by the New Day tonight. And he tells Daniel that he's going to go back to the hotel and watch everything, and watch the match. So it was basically just that little backstage segment with Shane and Daniel. And then we had Luke Harper and Eric Rowan debuting their new tag team name, the Bludgeon brothers. I think that's how you pronounce it. They were versing the Hype Bros, and this was just basically a squash match. It was basically them. It was basically them. You know, we see Harper just to make Harper and Rowan look like a strong tag team and really dangerous tag team. But yeah, Harper and Rowan got the win. They just beat the hell out of the Hype Bros. So, but yeah, it was just basically a squash match. It was basically a jobber match because of the Hype Bros with Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder. So just squash match, like I said. And then after that we had Natalya being interviewed about how the women's division is changing. Natalya says the only change that matters to her is when she beats Charlotte for the title tonight, and she claims that she will be the women's champion forever, SmackDown Women's Champion forever. So it's that little interview with Natalya. Then we had AJ Styles comes out saying, he hit Lesnar with every trick in the book at Survivor Series, and that he is the beast, that Lesnar is the beast, and that Lesnar is the beast we thought he would be. And he says that everyone after his match with Lesnar, everyone was sending him messages to him, and they were congratulating him on taking on Lesnar. And Styles goes on to say that if Lesnar ever wanted to have a rematch, he will win. And Styles says that he's pretty salty tonight, saying that someone was going to take his WWE Championship away, and that person he was referring to is Jinder Mahal, and he wants Jinder to come down and take the title from him. And then we just see Jinder Mahal on the Titantron saying he's too busy to come down because he was watching his match. He was watching Styles' match against Lesnar, and Jinder says that Styles took advantage of him while he was training to, because he was originally going to take on Lesnar. Jinder was originally going to take on Lesnar, and Jinder goes on to say that that himself is the Beastmaster. Sorry about that, but I was saying Jinder was saying that he's the Beastmaster, and then Styles goes, How stupid does that sound? You're the Beastmaster. And he tells Styles, Jinder tells Styles, he gets his rematch. He will get his rematch on his time. And he says Styles is a disgrace to SmackDown Live, and he chooses that at Clash of Champions he will face Styles for the title, get his rematch, then at Clash of Champions. And then the Singh brothers end up attacking Styles from behind, and Styles then takes them both out. Styles then hits the Styles Clash. I think it was on Samil Singh. But that pretty much ended the segment. But it was a pretty decent segment with Styles. Really liked the whole segment. So now Jinder has his rematch with Styles at Clash of Champions for the title, for the WWE title. So then after that, we saw Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They're still looking for someone to help them, and they see Rusev and Aiden English. They go in and they say, they much rather celebrate Rusev Day than Thanksgiving because they are Canadians. And Sami says, Rusev Day is much more popular than the New Day. It was just a little backstage segment with them. Sorry about that again. I'm getting distracted over here, just, doing this review. Everybody keep on opening and closing the door. So, but I was saying, it was just that little backstage segment with Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Rusev and Aiden English. And then after that, we had Charlotte versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And the match was going pretty decent. And it got interrupted by Ruby Riot, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan. They came from the crowd, and then they just started beating the hell out of Natalya, taking her out. And then they beat up on Charlotte. That was pretty much basically that. So, but the match, before it got interrupted, like I said, was decent. But and then after that, we had Daniel Bryan being interviewed about his reaction to what happened during the women's match, and he said, no comment. And Owens and Sami then approach Daniel and says that if he fires both of them, it will be the biggest mistake he will ever do. So it's that little, it was just a little backstage thing with them. Then, of course, it was the main event. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus New Day in a tag team Lumberjack match. And this was a pretty entertaining main event. It was back and forth between Owens, Sami, and New Day. It was basically Kofi and Big E in the match, while Xavier was outside. And they were just basically, when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were thrown out, of course the SmackDown roster tried to pick them up and throw them back in, but he had Sami out there, and he was running up the ramp, and then most of the stars on the roster then just came up the ramp, and got him, and it went to commercial, and then basically the match, almost towards the end of the match, you had Baron Corbin strike Bobby Roode, and that was when the whole roster ended up being the holy hell out of everyone there. And Sami Zayn ended up getting the win. So Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn win the match. Then after the match, Rusev then attacked Big E. Kofi then takes out Rusev and Aiden by jumping from the top onto them. And then we saw Xavier grab Sami, put him in the ring, and all three of the New Day, Xavier, Kofi, and Big E surrounded Sami, and they start beating the hell out of him. Kofi hit Trouble in Paradise on Sami, and then they hit him with the Midnight Hour, just laid him out. So that happened. That was what happened after the match. Then we saw Kevin Owens backstage saying to Daniel that he can't fire him and Sami. He gets on his knees and begs Daniel not to fire the both of them, which was funny. And Daniel ends up telling Owens that he never was going to fire him and Sami. And he says next week Owens will have a match with Randy Orton. And Owens then thanks Daniel for that, and the show ends. So anyways, that's it for my review of tonight's edition of SmackDown. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and until next video, which will probably be my Thanksgiving morning vlog, which is happening on Thursday. So, until that video, I'll see you all Thursday morning.